Hello, good evening, and welcome to episode 348 of the Overseas Connection podcast, the official podcast for gaming for the elderly. Today is the 5th of December 2015, and I am your host, Bongo the Sane, Robin Tate in Ballymena, Northern Ireland, on a very, very wet and windy evening. Let's hope I don't get blown away or lose power. And Greg is away visiting Mickey Mouse in Disney World with his family this weekend, so he's let me rip once again. And I have managed to gather together two reprobates this evening. One of them is in Canada. We always blame Canada. And it was very, very funny. I was watching an episode of Bones earlier this evening, and there was a Canadian doctor in it. And for some reason or another, his left arm wouldn't work. And he had to get into an argument, and it was because he was so stressed his left arm wasn't working, and he was putting this feeling on himself that the left arm wouldn't work. And one of the guys in this series said, well, maybe you should see this other doctor and have an argument with her and get it out of your system. You know, argue with her. She says, I can't do that. I'm Canadian. So tonight, hopefully, we'll have an argument from Fraser Moores. Good evening, sir.
Robin, how are you?
I'm good.
I can tell you right now, it's an amusing stereotype, but if you'd like an argument, I can certainly bring one to the table, I'm sure.
You're not really Canadian, Blood Fraser. That's the thing.
I'm tainted, aren't I?
You know how to queue.
Yeah, I have 25 years experience of sarcasm and arguments and miserableness and stuff that I cultivated on your side of the pond. So,
have you noticed at all that any of the North American folk are they starting to learn sarcasm now? Are they starting to recognize it in any shape or form?
You know what I find, and like I got to be careful and keep my head down here, but I think I find in Canada, I'm not going to speak for America, right? I'm definitely not, but in Canada, I think it's almost like a 50-50 split. I can meet people like they would fit in anywhere. Like they would fit in England, they fit in Canada, they understand sarcasm. A lot of them are aware of British humor and things like that. And then I sometimes, the other 50% just, they are that Canadian, just too nice. And you wonder like, yeah, they are genuinely nice people. These are the nice people.
Oh, goodness me. Nice folk. Okay, well, look, and in England, a very wet England, even wetter than Northern Ireland right now, we have Richard Webster, and he's spinning the discs tonight. Richard, how are you, sir?
I'm all right, actually, to be honest. I was just fixing Fraser because his head was cut off a bit. I think he moved his webcam before, which just fucks my life up. I'm Big Bad Daddy on PlayStation Network and on Steam. Hello. Good evening. That's how I introduce myself now.
Hello.
Big Bad Daddy on PlayStation Network.
Excellent.
Nice. You're showing off now, aren't you?
Just a bit.
Well, you know what? It's been a busy old week, and when I was on last week, I had said that I was going to get stuck into a lot of gaming this week and try and catch some stuff up, and that's exactly what I've done. So I think we should make a start to this podcast and start to talk about some of the things that we've been up to.
Okay.
And some of the things we've been playing, I suppose. And then other things will emerge as we go through it. And we'll just have a nice chat between ourselves, I suppose.
Let's do it.
Lovely.
So I'm going to start first this week. So there you are. Because I have. What I'd said last week was I was a bit dubious about getting lost in the Fallout world because it would consume me. And I had so many sort of little loose ends hanging around the place that I thought I would get in and get them done. So the things that I've completed 3 games this week. One was Submerged, which isn't much of a game, to be honest with you. Girl in
The
Boat.
look on your face speaks.
Yeah.
I was victorious, and I forged ahead, and I slayed the.
I didn't
lame
fall off
duck.
the building. Yeah. So Submerged has so much promise for a lovely little game with Assassin's Creed style climbing where you can't fall, and a boat that doesn't handle very well, and sea life. So the theory is it's probably a few hundred years in the future on maybe this planet, and everything is waterbound. You're a little girl, and you have to look for medicine for your brother.
Yeah.
And you have and all the medicine is in pristine, nice boxes. nicely on top of very tall buildings, and you climb up the building where you can't fall off, and as soon as you get the box, you mysteriously just appear with your brother again. He gets a bit of medicine, and then he needs a bit of food, or he needs a bandage, and off you go. And there's about 10 boxes, and you go and get those. And I suppose if you were at it, you could probably do it in about 2 or 3 hours. Now, it was as janky as hell. The frame rate dropped all over the place.
Yeah.
But there was just something quite lethargic. Is that the correct term? Just driving my little boat around, having a look at the sea life. It could have been much better if it had had a bit of polish.
That closing statement would make me feel a little bit guilty, because my sort of review of it was, well, it didn't even really get a review. I mean, it took me 10 minutes to realize it was, as you say, totally janky.
Yeah.
And I was just like, done. Like, I'll give them poetic license. I don't care why the bottles are there or whatever. I mean, the object is to go get those bottles wherever they are. And for whatever bizarre reason, that's okay. I can let that fly. But when the gameplay and the stuttering that I encountered as soon as I loaded it, it was just... I think at the time now it's coming back to me. I'm coming back. I'm getting tastes and notes of dreadful game. It was just bad.
I'm not quite sure, man. I never, because I played it before about the same time, and I was tainted by your thoughts.
But you shouldn't. But those were countered, because I remember Greg and Kim were they spoke all right about it. They said it was all right, which I couldn't believe. It was like, are you seriously playing?
You give them something free, make them feel guilty that they have to play it, and then they went away and played it. I think it was last Sunday afternoon. It was one of those moods where I didn't know what to do. I had a bit of time, didn't know what to start, wasn't sure, and up it came, and away I went, and I got lost in it for a couple of hours, and it was fun. But not great. I wouldn't recommend that you go out and get it. And when it comes with PSN free or Games with Gold free, have a look at it. It's worth 900 or 800 gamer points if you're into that in a quick time. Okay, so 2 other games that I finished this week: Telltale's Game of Thrones and Life is Strange. So, I've enjoyed lots of the Telltale games. I mean, really this year, really enjoyed Tales from the Borderlands. That was a real surprise, and excuse me, and the older ones. And if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you kind of know where this is going. So I was in the last episode of Game of Thrones to finish off that whole season 1. And I suppose I started the beginning of it knowing that it wasn't going to end in a happy way. And if you expect the Game of Thrones Telltale game to end in a happy way, it's not going to happen. And that's no spoiler. It's just not.
Yeah.
My problem with it compared to the other game was that I didn't get a lot of buy-in into the characters. Now, maybe it was because a lot of them died very, very quickly, and I didn't get
Isn't that what Game of Thrones is supposed to do?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, at the end of it, there was a couple of characters who were my favorite characters in it, and they've seemed to have survived, and there'll be a spin-off onto it as well. I think they are going to make a season 2.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what Game of Thrones is. It's just brutality for brutality's sake. It was good. Some of the things in the Telltale games are starting to annoy me now. Like some of the minor gameplay.
Has it overstayed its welcome?
Yeah, well, some of the stupid gameplay things, like press X to pour the bottle. There is no gameplay.
Yeah.
In that, it's almost like press X to grieve in that Call of Duty game. There's lots and lots of stupid stuff. Now there were some good fight scenes in this where there's a bit of swiping left and X and Y to counter and stuff like that, and that was good and that was fun. But some of the little silly things, all of a sudden you're walking down a corridor and all the other doors open for you, but all of a sudden this particular door needs a button press, and they need to get a hold of that.
Do you think it's because they're trying to Because Telltale Games are trying to tell a story. Do you think they're just filling gameplay in for the sake of it, so it's not just like a cutscene?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they've got a bit loose with it because the other game that I'll talk about in a second too doesn't do that anywhere nearly as bad.
Yeah.
So Game of Thrones was really good. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, it's a good Telltale game. For me, not as good as Tales from the Borderlands this year. I think if I put it in order, I suppose the Walking Dead season 1 for me is right up there. The Wolf Among Us and Tales from the Borderlands, definitely those 3. Or did I repeat one? No, those 3 are definitely the 3 best so far from those. Okay, so I finished that now. I'm kind of glad it's done. So Life is Strange, on the other hand, I haven't really stopped thinking about since I completed it.
Okay.
Two nights ago.
What are you playing that on, Robin?
Xbox.
Ooh, that means I can play that too.
Yeah. So,
Should I?
oh goodness. Well, Fraser, I listen.
No, okay.
No,
Don't.
I'm not going to stereotype you. No.
Don't stereotype and think about the things that you've heard about me. They're not true.
Yeah,
okay?
because I mean, I was listening to your other podcast, and there was you started to say, "Oh, I wish people would stop thinking about stories and me," and you were sort of cut off, and I had a giggle to myself. Fraser has this reputation, listeners, that he's no interest in stories, and he just wants to play the game, and story is nonsensical. But I think the point of it is, if it's story for story's sake, just for a filler, Fraser's not interested. But if it's key and pertinent, yeah, and
yes,
and if it helps him,
Robin,
and if it helps him get to the end of the game, Fraser is spot on. But if it's just some stupid fluff, no interest.
For the people watching live, I'm just showing gameplay from about the first 20 minutes, so there's no spoilers. You see?
Yeah, okay. So Life is Strange has been out for most of the year now. It started off in January. Now the series is finished off there over the last few weeks. Last month or so it's finished now. It follows a young girl who's 17, 18 years old called Max. She's at an art school for photography. She's been away from this little town for a long time. She went to the big city and she came back to go to this art college, and she's met up with some of her old buddies. There's been a murder or a series of murders, and she discovers
when they got together.
She discovers quite randomly. Yeah. Oh, it's Heart to Heart, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. Just showing her age now.
I got a real hankering
to watch Heart to Heart.
Derail you because you're.
Yeah, no, go. Heart to Heart.
I got a real hankering to watch Dallas again.
Oh.
Did you ever grow up watching Dallas?
Oh goodness, yeah. JR. I mean, who shot JR?
JR was just so good. I just feel like I need a good old dose of JR again. He was just such a good bad guy.
There were certain television programs that crossed the pond that just had to be watched, and Dallas was one of them. I would say Starsky and Hutch was probably another. Kojak, but the Dallas would be ahead of those. For me, on Saturday evenings around tea time, it was the Dukes of Hazzard.
Right.
And the way they could squeeze.
Saturday, there was the good old Saturday 6:30 slot, right?
Yeah.
Which was Dukes of Hazzard or the A-Team.
Where they could squeal the brake or squeal the tires on muck. Which is fantastic. My father probably loved it because of Daisy Duke, but I didn't realize that at the time.
Of course.
So yeah, but yeah, Dallas was something very special because I don't know, I was always rooting for the underdog. I mean, that's maybe what it was. Was it, what did you call the
Digger Barnes?
Digger Barnes, yeah. You're always rooting for Barnes? Him. No.
Was it the other guy?
God, was it his cousin?
Sue Ellen's brother.
Yeah, and he just never had the brains, or JR always just managed to pep him some underhanded way. Just fantastic.
That's what it's. I need to see that again. I just missed that. It was good.
I used to watch Randall and Hopkirk Deceased. I used to love that.
Yeah,
that was wasn't that redone with Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer?
Yeah.
God, hope not. That sounds dreadful.
But then, and so there was a spin-off of Dallas then, which was called Knots Landing. Is that right?
I know of Knots Landing, but I don't know if it was a spin-off.
No. Well, it was definitely a spin-off where it was maybe in Canada or in the other side of America, but there was oil involved and it was a cul-de-sac of houses.
You're not thinking of Dynasty.
No, that was Grapes, wasn't it? But there was a spin-off of Dallas as well then. Anyway, Dallas was great. Anyway, Life is Strange.
Life is Strange games.
Yeah, so this girl, Max, discovers in a dramatic moment in her life, stressful moment, that she can rewind time. Okay. So with this mechanic in place, you can go through the game and rewind time at certain points to focus a conversation tree, make a different outcome, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the series was 5 episodes. The 5th episode was winding everything up, and the gameplay itself, there was some gameplay, but very little. It was more like a television program, a drama. There wasn't lots and lots of discovering this, that, and the other. There was some in the final episode. You had to match some clues up with different things, and you had to go back through your notes. She kept a diary, and you had to go back and find some codes and bits and pieces. All very interactive. The last episode was a time travel spectacular, but because she was going back in time, there was different realities going on, left, right, center, all over the place. There was a bad guy that was exposed. There was so much stuff going on, so many possible outcomes, and because she was fracturing reality, the world was falling apart. The last episode, you had to pay attention to it in great detail because there was just so many different timelines going on, so many different things, but it was just awesome. It finished in such a fantastic way. Okay, there's some people complaining of Mass Effect, that there was like 3 different choices, but it was all pretty much the same thing. There was a couple of choices at the end of this here, but I was completely and utterly satisfied. Part of the love of this game to me was the girl Max reminds me an awful lot of a niece of mine, who's about the same age and pretty low self-esteem. Sorry, darling, if you're listening. Low self-esteem, a bit troubled, quite arty-farty, quiet, clever and funny, all wrapped up. Reminded me a bit of me at school as well. It's one of those first games that I've ever had, and I know these were teenage American girls, could be Canada, teenage American girls with
all the same,
with stupid I hella love that and all that. Some of the language stuff was cringeworthy every now and again, but generally the game, if you can call it a game even, the story I just thought was magnificent. I thought it was really good. I thought it was brilliant. And I can't. I'm so close that I don't want to spoil it, but
go on.
No, when you finish it, you'll know the movie that it was based on. Pretty much, so you sort of start back where you. Oh no, it was brilliant. Play Life is Strange. Stick with it.
All right.
Go through it, play it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's well up there for me as one of those games this year.
Is it going to be? Could it be possibly sneaking in and taking a look at your GOTY?
I would say so. Very, very close to it. Very high up the list at the moment. Yeah, play it. And then I'll just finish off with I went back to Batman. Batman. So I've got those 3 out of the way now. Batman. So I was about a 10th or 15% into Batman, and now I'm starting to get Batman. And do you ever come across that problem? Pardon? Yeah,
Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
I bought that ages ago.
Yeah, I know. I've got so many.
I've never finished that. That was a great game.
Yeah, I moved on to the next shiny thing. It's different stuff. That's why I've got Dying Light. Although I want to get these out of the way before I commit to Fallout.
I was in a car today with this guy, And I was asking him about if he was playing any games, and he was like, "Oh yeah, but Dragon Age Inquisition, yeah, we sort of finished that." I was like, "Oh yeah, I've got that, never played it."
Yep.
What about this? Yeah, I've got that, never played it. Yeah, I've got that, never played it. It's disgraceful. It's shocking.
Oh, that's what's caught me. That's why I'm glad to have done what I've done. And I know these were shorter episodic things that I need to get it away, but I wanted to
It
rule.
vindicates yourself,
Yeah.
though, doesn't it? Just it lays some credence to your gaming
Well,
persona to actually get and finish some.
finished stuff, yeah, and to be able to talk about it properly and stuff like that. I mean, I listened to the Life is Strange spoiler cast with Stu and GH Rocker there this week as well after I'd finished it. And God, they rambled on for 2.5 hours. And then they did this, and then they did that, and then they did this. And but I was able to listen to it, and it was interesting to hear what their thoughts were. I think that, and listening to it, there seems to be so many different little oddities and things you can interact with that I didn't. But yes, you're right. It's nice to get them away, and it's also the value that you have in it, whether you paid for it or not. You've paid for this product, you might as well use it and get the most out of it. And I know you got a lot out of Batman.
I loved Batman.
I know. My problem is I've left it so long now. I forgot all the controls and all the bits and pieces.
Oh yeah.
So it's taken a bit to get back in. Now I played it for a little while this afternoon because Judith was away for the day, and I had the kids, and I banned them from the Xbox for a bit and stuck the headphones in. But I must have, there was a bit made me jump. I was Wah! There was this big flying creature.
The bat.
Yeah. And
Yeah, that was one of the bits that scared all of us too. My kids were with me when that happened.
And I was sort of climbing up on the roof, and then this thing popped his head up over the parapet. And it was just a jump scare, but it did get me. I didn't expect that from Batman. I have this feeling that I need to straight line it. I think there's so many Joker things and firemen that need rescuing and cats that need sorting out, and all of a sudden Azrael has appeared straight from Diablo.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
from Diablo 3. He wants to take over Batman's job, and he looks all scruddy and he got all ripped stuff. He doesn't even have a shiny outfit. I mean, what's that all about?
It's just a distraction.
But I think
filler.
For me to get into it, I think I'm gonna have to straight line it for a bit until I get really back into it again. And those when I picked a mission and you have to drive somewhere, and every time you go to drive somewhere, those tanks appear. That is starting to get a bit annoying. So every time you start to go to a new place, they come across, and you have to depart 6 or 8 tanks. But yeah, it's beautiful, it's lovely, and I want to get through Batman and then go on to the next. I mean, I've never finished Shadows of Mordor. Did you finish Shadows of Mordor? Anybody do that?
Not yet. On the
Yeah,
to-do list.
I did.
See, you've got some sort of flipping magic gift.
But it's not a magic gift. The thing about Arkham Knight is that I started playing it, and that was it. I was hook, line, and sinker, and I was not putting that down until I had finished it. Mordor was slightly different in that I've been putting in a ton of time on it, and then I started to go a little bit cold. But the thing about Mordor is you go cold on it, and then you think, I really should just switch it on. And then you switch it on, and it eats up 2 hours of your life just like that. So if you can just get yourself to turn it on, I think that's a game that's easily done and easily finished.
That's what I say to my missus.
straight line.
You can just turn it on, and then you can lose 2 minutes of your life.
Yeah. Well, and the other one then, the big one, which you've also spent a million hours in, is Hideo Kojima. And the big
gear?
one with the V on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The gear.
Yeah, the Metal
That
Gear.
one is not done. I've been putting more hours into that this week.
Goodness me.
I'm in I turned it on, and there's another major plot point. I have finished it, but now there's still things that are surplus to it, but can still be considered major plot points. It's very, very, it's just an astounding game.
So now that you're talking, well, why don't you continue to talk?
Well, I can continue to talk. I can't remember what I got on my list. Hang on, because I've got something else up here on the screen. Where's my thing here? Okay, Yoshi's Woolly World is a game that I've been playing this week. We rented that again from the library. A wonderful gaming resource.
Such a good game. I've never played it,
Yeah,
but
it
it
is
looks
great.
amazing.
Oh, it's just great. Honestly, you fire this up, and as soon as you start to see the woolly Yoshis on the screen, just a big smile comes across your face, and it's a joy. Sitting down and playing it for too long, I can't do. I think I can do maybe sort of half an hour, 3/4 of an hour sitting, hammer out a couple of levels.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit repetitive in what it is, but you can keep coming back to it, and the level designs are great, and it's just I know, Richard, you're a good person to bounce the Nintendo hate doesn't come from you, nor Robin, really. It's the other ones who aren't appearing with us on the podcast tonight. They tend to sit there in the no friendo zone, but you know what I'm talking about when I say it's just that Nintendo seal of quality, that gold Nintendo seal that we used to see on the games.
Yeah.
The seal of quality is on this game.
Nintendo just has like a golden thread that just runs through all their games. Like, they're all great. In
It
their
looks
own way.
very cute. That looks like a very cute game.
It is.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah, it is, and it's it's not a 10 out of 10 game by any means, but it's definitely a typical Nintendo 8 out of 10. It's solid. It's not janky. It's not everything is the gameplay's great. There's loads of stuff. You can spend as much time trying to get through the levels. There's loads of stuff you can do on the levels where you can collect all the pieces of yarn. There's like usually 6 pieces of yarn hidden throughout the levels. Now, we're always trying to find those, because once you find all those, you can come back out of the level and a new little Yoshi with new colors or whatever is there for you to collect. So that's sort of like this collectible thing that's going on, and you want to see what those are. But you can also collect a number of flowers in the level, a number of stamps. I think there's a number, if you can collect everything and you get stars, and so you can go for your 100% completion if you want. And maybe I'm not quite on that path, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, see, but that's part of the
Right.
issue with Nintendo games for me. Sorry, I have a Wii U, and I fire it up every now and go again and go, oh, isn't this great? And I have the Mario machine, the Mario, what do you call it? Not Mario Maker, Mario Mechanic. No, what is
Super Mario Manufacturer.
Yes, that's it. Brilliant. The Japanese interpretation in English back to
Yeah.
Japanese. And it's great. But my problem is a lot of the Nintendo games, as beautiful as they are, never seem to hold my attention for anything more than 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'm done, and because they seem to be quite light.
Yeah.
And I know there's
well,
a lot of depth in Mario World, and I think one of the ones that I spent the most in as far as a Mario game's concerned is actually always on the Wii, and it was Paper Mario, where you could turn the world on its side. And I spent that just got me. But it's maybe, I don't know. It's not that they're kiddie. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't spend more time with my Wii.
I don't know how to reply to that.
See, I'm the opposite. Like, I can just lose 2 hours in Zelda, or I don't know, Mario on the NES, or almost anything Nintendo. I mean, there's a few things that have never been like great. Like, I never quite got into Sunshine. I didn't really get into Mario 64. It was all right. Galaxy though, I thought was like astounding.
Yeah, you played that pretty recently too, didn't you?
Yeah, I got it up on because I got it, and then I was playing on my Wii, and I was like, why am I playing on my Wii when I've got a gaming PC that can run the game at like HD? So yeah, played it on HD. It looks the business.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, there's certain games don't hold my attention. I'm not really too big on the 2D side scroller. Super Mario Maker is good.
Yeah.
But I that doesn't hold me. I'm not interested in building levels, but I can see in watching other people do it and what it's capable of just how great it is. So, it's just picking up Zelda. I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I've devoted to Zelda games in the past.
Yeah.
Loads.
I'm even thinking about starting up a Wind Waker again. Because it's something very charming.
You don't have a Wii U though.
No.
So you're prime. Try and pick up a Wii U next year when they're, after Christmas, they're going to be dropping price. You'll have a blast on it, Rich. I'm sure you will.
I'm
no
super
doubt about
tempted
it.
to get a Wii U. I don't think I'm going to get an Xbox One now. I've got a PS4 and I've got my gaming PC, but I could definitely drop a Wii U before NX comes because they'll be super cheap.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I've said it 100 times. If you're looking for if you have a PlayStation 4, you have an Xbox One, and you're looking for the second console to sit with that, you're crazy if you don't pick up a Wii U. If
Agreed.
you pick up a PS4 against your Xbox One, you're spending £300 or whatever it is you guys pay over there for access to maybe a handful of titles that you can't play on the other one. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Whereas the Wii U has a bunch of great stuff on it. So anyway, lots of Yoshi's Woolly World. That's great. Cool. I've also been playing, and I mentioned this on Game Punters, Hexels, which a lot of people will probably sit back and say, why does he keep mentioning this game? But I can't stop playing it. Again, I've got it. Robin's flopped down on his sofa. I've got it up on the screen here. I literally can't play too much because it's just a puzzle game, and it ranks high up on people's lists, and it's
fucking Minesweeper.
It's not. You know what? I'm trying. Calling it Minesweeper doesn't do it any justice whatsoever. It's far deeper than that.
Exiosies.
It's
Hangman.
it's Sudoku, right? A lot of people like Sudoku, right? Where you're using the information that's there. You've really got to try and bend your mind. Well, if that doesn't go there, that can't be there, and so this has to be there. And it's just scratching that itch. I can't stop playing it. I'm sorry. It's like a guilty pleasure right now.
Well, look, you've had worse. You've had those tappy games that you had to just tap. You've had those games, so there's been worse ones that you've been addicted to. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times I'm sitting down recently, and I'm just like, you know what, I really can't. Robin and I were discussing this earlier, like how busy we've been, and it's the season. I'm really busy at work. I've got tons on with what I do, extra activities and stuff with the kids. And so sometimes I'm just like, I can't be bothered to play a video. I can't be bothered to play a first-person shooter. There's way too much effort involved. And anyway, I went out with my kids today, and we were out the Scouts were out, or the Cub Scouts were out again this afternoon. And I came back, like, I am done. I'm kitted up to the top of my head. And I just sat down and started playing Hexels, and it just drifted me off. I was just going, all I had to do was just think about numbers and things, and it just carried me away. It's just great. You don't know what you're missing. You do. And it might, but again, it's horses for courses, right? It's what you like. So this is
Clash of Clans. Clash of Clans.
You're still playing. I turned on Clash of Clans this week. My whole base is just overgrown with trees. It took me an hour to clear all the overgrowth of trees.
I just can't stop.
And I see how you guys are just forging ahead, like levels ahead of me. But I'm like, how on earth are they still interested in it?
I don't know.
But again, that's honestly, like, dude, that is a guilty pleasure. The fact that you're still turning that on every day.
10, 20, I haven't counted, I'm frightened to count. 10, 20 times a day, the loo, at the table with breakfast, in the traffic jam in the car, at another traffic jam. Oh, it's another set of traffic lights. Let's check it again. It's just crazy. It is crazy. I mean, hoping and praying for Christmas that they give the cheap upgrades that you can boost stuff. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Yeah, sorry, but yes, there's nothing wrong with having a guilty pleasure game. Nothing wrong with that.
You know, it is a great game to play if you don't feel like playing games. Game Maker Studio, or Game Maker Simulator, or whichever platform you've got. If you've got an Android phone, it's on there.
Oh, Fraser's just been given cookies.
It's shortbread, fresh out of the oven.
Not only does she do adverts for insurance companies, she makes fantastic biscuits.
There you go.
Wow.
That's why I snapped her up.
Does she have her slippers on?
That's why you courted her all the way down the aisle.
That's right.
Oh dear. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, you're allowed a guilty pleasure every now and again, and there's lots of those we can do. I see. Actually, there was it was pointed out to me this week that what went free again, and everybody should play it.
Monument Valley.
Monument Valley. Yeah. Monument Valley went free, and that's a must play little handheld game. It's brilliant.
I've got that. Really I've never played it.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I downloaded it when I was watching House of Cards, and I just never got around to playing it.
Yeah, it is good.
Okay.
Okay, so Hexels, and it, Yeah, but you know what? I heard House Shadow Complex is free. Chris from Bosswave apparently was playing that, enjoying it. He'd never played it.
Shadow
Believe
Complex?
that? Yeah.
And sorry, is it available on what?
On
PC. It's remastered on PC.
PC. All right. Okay.
Available for free now. He'd never played it before, but apparently it glitched on him and it crashed his save.
Gutted.
So be aware. If you've got a
He has-
360, just go play it on that.
Yeah, go and buy 30 quid or 40 quid
On the web
Xbox 360 and play away.
on the webcam here,
Yeah,
I'm showing that
exactly.
I'm about to accept and download Monument Valley again. Proceed. I'm proceeding, guys. Doing it. 241 megabytes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's outrageous.
I need to delete
Yeah.
some screenshots. I've got so many screenshots on my phone. Do you ever like take a screenshot on your phone and be like, right, I'll need that later, or I'll read that tonight, and then you look and you've got like 100 screenshots of news bits you decided to read one day and never did.
No, but part of my problem is that we have these WhatsApp groups that we chat offline with, and there's a podcast chat and a general chat and stupid chat and all these things, and people post photographs to them, and they automatically go into my library of photographs. Every single photograph from WhatsApp pops in, and I use my phone a lot. I've got one of these iPhone 6 Plus things, the big phone, and I use my photographs a lot in my work to show previous work, previous jobs, and I'm flicking through it, and then I'll get something that looks like a lady's smelly area that it's just really a vegetable, and when I'm flicking through with a client, or some really weird rude photograph that Parsnip has put up or Mark has put up. But I think there's something like 4,000 photographs on my phone.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can disable that.
I haven't found out how. I must do that.
Yeah, I found out how to do that after I realized I was getting clogged up big time.
Yeah, must do
Yeah.
it. Must do it. Anything else, Fraser?
Yes, well, I have been playing some Fallout 4.
Oh, that's a thing.
Dun, 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 dun. Which is good.
Okay. Yeah, it is Fallout 3.5. And Richard's going to jump in here.
Yeah, I know. Well, is Rich? Are you playing it, Rich?
Is he playing it?
Am I playing it?
Jeez.
Whatever.
Oh, yes, you've got it on your list. Sorry, I hadn't looked on your list. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me leave out Fallout 4. I've talked about it at length on
Fuck's
Game
sake,
Punches,
Fred.
and I can throw in some
I've
stuff.
just set up the fucking stream to show Fallout 4 video. I'm going to show Fallout 4 while
All
you're
right,
talking
okay.
about whatever. Whatever you're
Okay,
talking
so
about.
we can talk about Fallout. Well, this is segue into you, Rich. Anyway, oh yeah, okay. So this can go straight into Rich. Sorry, I'm not thinking through the.
No, you're
thinking
not.
through the large.
Blame Canada.
Look, you know what? I mean, I'm sitting back here and I've seen everybody go nuts about Fallout 4. It is really good. Don't get me wrong. It's really good. I still think it's Fallout 3.5. And probably actually the best thing that I've heard, which really summed it up well, was somebody said, you know what? If they're going to do it again, let's just pray. Somebody said, I don't want them to make another Fallout because another Fallout is not exactly what we need. What we need is something a little bit new, a new world, like just a little bit different. These guys, we know what they can do. Give us a different surrounding. I mean, why am I I don't need any more mole rat meat or mole rat encounters or super mutants. We did all that. Where's the new stuff? But if take a step back now and forget about that, I mean, it's very, very good. I mean, for all the talk of things not working properly, and I've seen some people get stuck in some walls or whatever, and I was following one guy in a suit and he was doing dancing like Michael Jackson or whatever, and it was more amusing actually than bothersome. It's great, and and I've fallen into just play it for a little bit, and then 4 hours of my life have disappeared. And it is good, for sure. You know that if people are playing it, they know it's good.
See, the thing with Fallout is, playing Fallout 4 is how you think you remember Fallout 3. Like that thing where you think back. Like, if I think back to, a game on the Commodore 64 that I played, guarantee it looks 10 times better in my head than it actually does.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked enough about Fallout 4, but I don't know, it just gets better. It's just magic. Like, the game is magic. It's like he pulled it out of a fucking hat. It's just everything about it. It's the nuances, the lighting, the shadows, the small things. Look, I'm going to show on the stream now. The guy's killing a fucking Deathclaw, with a pistol. Deathclaw's gone. He's in the glowing sea there. See how it's all thingy. I think that's a glowing sea anyway. I don't know. But anyway, Fallout 4 is just the dog's nuts. Everything about it is perfect in every way. Honest to God, I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know. Nothing's wrong with it.
I'll say there's something curious where I handle the victory achieved. That was when people put in their victory achieved. And the way it goes to me on Twitter. There's only been one completion so far, and that says to me, well, either people aren't doing victory achieved, but there's lots of them comes in every week from different people. But I think people are looking at the people that are online in my Xbox, that the level that they're at, 20 and 30 and 40. People aren't in just that much of a hurry to straight line it. They seem to be getting lost and really, really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I found that as well. Well, I think I started it off in the first few hours. I was like, it's telling me to go to Diamond City, right? I'm going to go into Diamond City. And I got killed on the way, and I struggled on the way. And then I suddenly thought, you know what? I remember, maybe if I just walk that way, I know something's going to happen. And I did, and I just turned, instead of going where I'm supposed to be going, I'm going to turn left. And that's the beauty of the game, is that you just say, I'm going to turn left. And you sort of know something's going to happen. And it does seem to be doing a very good job of, just as I feel myself slipping out of interest of it, it grabs me back in by giving me an event or bringing me upon something new or a new place. Or I figure out just a new way to deal with the mechanics, or a new way to level up, or a new perk to put in. And the drip feeding of keeping me interested is very, very clever. It's very well done.
Yeah, well, it hasn't completely got me yet, but as part of it is I want to finish off the other stuff. But Fallout 3 didn't get me straight at the beginning either. I played it for quite a while and then went off and then came back and just got consumed by it and all the DLC and the mothership. Was it Mothership Earth, the one you go up in the spaceship and aliens and the pit?
Mothership Zeta, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. It's really, really good. So I'm sure that's going to happen as well. But I think you're right. I mean, if it was going to be a different universe, what universe would it be? I mean, what would it be?
Yeah, can we make it anything else?
Well, I mean, could it be set in the future instead of in the 50s? Could it be set the here and now? I mean, what would happen if there was a mock-up like apocalypse, a nuclear apocalypse now, or Russia fired off that big submarine torpedo and it landed in Canada and went off? What would that be an interesting world to play in?
Real life.
I really do. Yeah, I don't know. Look, you know what? Fallout is Fallout. So for them to bring out, it's going to be very similar. I get it. I suppose I'm just
sorry. It's a realized universe, I suppose. So the comparison with Fallout 3 is easy for us to make. They seem to have packed it full of lots of new storylines, But all of the 50s stuff is there. And I suppose what was I expecting? Was I expecting the music to be different? Because it's a lot of the same 50s tracks, but those were 50s tracks. And of course, It's around the same time they're going to be repeated. So, Space 1999, please. Or Blade Runner Fallout. Yeah, I'm sure they could turn their storytelling, crafting of worlds skills into something completely different. But still with the skills that they've learned within the Fallout universes.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. That's
perhaps.
Perhaps. I like Yahap.
Mayhap.
So, Richard, have you been dabbling in the old PS4 as well then, have you?
Yeah, I switched it on.
Good.
And I played and finished Journey.
Oh, okay.
I'd never obviously played that game before. Very nice.
It is very nice. and I remember playing it one afternoon in our front room, and my wife was there and Josh was there in the closing moments, and I had told them that the people that I knew in our communities had said it was inspiring and it made you cry and it felt you full of emotions, and they laughed. Because I climbed up that hill, and I climbed up the hill a bit more, and It's lovely, but I'm sorry. I think it looks quite nice. I wouldn't say it's the best looking thing ever, even the remastered stuff. It's a nice experience game, but I couldn't say it's one of the best games ever. I don't think it deserves the status that it has. I think Brothers was a better game than Journey.
Oh, you were with me, Robin, until then. No, I don't know about that. I didn't jump on the Brothers bandwagon like that either.
I love the way the Brothers thing actually did come together with a unique control system where it made you feel at the end that the brother was there haunting your controller. Yeah. But yeah, I think it is a unique piece of gaming history. Like maybe Brothers isn't maybe in as far up as that, but I think it's up there now with those other things that people talk about. Duke especially. The one with the big monsters, PlayStation 2 time.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus and Ico. I think it's up there with those, I suppose, it's been revered. Yeah.
See, I played Journey. My missus has played it, finished it. She thinks Never Alone's a better game, and I tend to agree. I think there's more substance. Journey's nice. It's lovely to look at. It's nice to play. There's a few cool moments, like when you're interacting with the drapes, whatever you'd call them, and stuff. And the ending's quite nice, quite interesting. I don't want to stop saying nice. The ending's all right. It's kind of fulfilling. What was interesting is that like people dip in and out of your game, don't they? Just randomly.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. And then when you complete the game, this isn't a spoiler. It tells you who you played with throughout that save.
That's right.
Comes up at the end, and it was like, oh no way, I played with like 6 different people. I didn't even realize. My girlfriend swore blind it was just the computer, and I was like, no, it's actual people that join your game, like randomly. Well, that's quite cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Trying to communicate with them was wonderful. Well, I suppose the next thing you have to play is Flower.
Flower.
Flower. You've got to play Flower next.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said about Flower. Yeah. I want to try it. So yeah, we played Journey. It's nice. And Little Big Planet 3, we got that. That was okay as well. I don't know if it's as good as like 1 and 2 because I never played them either, but it seems pretty decent. And the narrator's quite funny. He reminds me of Stephen Fry.
It is Stephen Fry.
No, it's not Stephen Fry. Sorry, it's the guy from Blackadder, isn't it? Is it the guy from Blackadder?
Stephen Fry was also in Blackadder.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's just so many like voices, but the guy from Blackadder, who played, I'm sure he plays House now. Is that the same guy?
Oh, Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie,
yeah, he does the voice of one of the people, but I could be getting confused because we played a few things. But yeah, Little Big Planet's nice. It's good. It's good little platformer.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's lovely.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't tried Last of Us yet, but I'm going to over the Christmas holiday season. We've got that.
There's another one I need to finish, and I have it on PS3.
Are you what? You haven't finished Last of Us?
I know, it's
Robin,
terrible.
Hey, what are you like?
Terrible. I have it, and I hated the clickers, and I think should I buy it on PS4? But I have it on PS3.
I mean,
I should just play. I know.
Last of Us is one of those games, right, where everyone keeps going about, it's the most amazing story ever. I cried at least 2 times when I played Last of Us. Oh man, right, just drives me bonkers. Who are these people, right? But
who are these?
Last of Us.
They are the same people that cry.
It was so emotional. The ending was just superb. And I podcast with these guys as well, so they'll get me next time. But it is one of those games, regardless of whether, it emotionally moves you and you feel the characters and everything that they do. You still got to finish it. It's definitely one of those games, like an Uncharted 2. It's like, what are you doing not finishing those games?
Well, I finished Uncharted 2 earlier on this year because it had been selling, and I have Uncharted 3 still to go. So these are things.
Don't worry about that one. Uncharted 3 is just like,
isn't that?
Is torture.
Oh, right, okay. No, The Last of Us that's one maybe I'll do over Christmas time.
No way, man. Uncharted 3 dragged.
No, not Uncharted 3. Sorry, The Last of Us. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it was great, but then I got annoyed. I think not that long in, and I started to get annoyed with the clickers. The clickers annoyed me.
Was it too hard?
It was a bit hard. I think I'll put it on the Nubenstein and try and get through it. Yeah.
That's fair enough. Just bang it down to noob level. And
I think it was the PS3 controller as well, forgive me. But I think now I can plug in a PS4 controller into my PS3 and it might make it a bit better.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah. On a USB cable, yeah.
Do you know what, guys? Do you know, I've noticed that I don't know what it is because I'm so used to the Xbox pad, but with the PS4 controller, with Journey, you press forward like most of the game. Like, you don't really stop pressing forward. And I had to keep, like, my thumb kept slipping off. I had to keep moving my thumb over to the left stick and holding the left stick down and then repositioning my left thumb. It keeps slipping off. Does anybody else have that problem, or is that just because I'm so used to the 360 pad?
I think you might be right there, Rich. I think I had a bit of trouble playing one game, so you might be right there. I personally, and here we go, we stir up another conversation, is that I actually don't think the PS4 controller is far superior than to previous PlayStation controllers. Of that, there is no doubt. I still don't think they're a touch on Xbox controllers.
No.
I think they get anywhere near as good.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a moped, you know? It feels great, you know? It's in your hand. You look down, and you look down it and go, oh, this thing's wide and fat.
Oh, that wasn't, no, you've got that wrong. That wasn't the gag.
Yeah, I know. Well, was it not? No?
No.
The big fat chick? No?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, this is another podcast with less cursing in that other one. But I've heard that.
We'll cover that later.
Yeah, okay. But it feels much superior. It does feel really good. But it's wider or something, or slippier. I don't know. Yeah. It's a great controller, but I still think the Xbox One is better.
See, I think it's because, right, if you look at the 360 pad, like the joystick like goes in and there's a recess there, whereas on the PS4 it recesses, but then there's a lump again. And I think it's that. I don't know, maybe it's the material, because my thumb just does not slip on this pad. I'm showing the stream because this is what's really interesting about life, looking at controllers. Let's do an unboxing of the 360 controller live. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's like Fraser said, the PS4 is probably the best PlayStation pad since the original overall. But yeah, I prefer the 360 pad. I've never even tried that Xbox One, but the 360 pad is just me. I'm just so used. But I have been playing it for like how long now? Like 8 years. It's just one of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Xbox One is more like the 360. It's like an iteration of it. I mean, the PlayStation 4 one, I hate the light. The light thing is stupid. I like the idea of the big button. I don't like the charging, the way you have to plug it in every 2 minutes to charge it.
I don't think my girlfriend's played it wirelessly yet. Like, it's just always plugged in. The lights, though, they don't bother me. It's interesting to look down at my fingers being like green. A little bit strange.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. If you play a game like Dying Light, it's really good because you have like most of the time it'll be blue, and then when you suddenly get spotted by the zombies, it turns red.
Oh, okay.
When you go into the safe house, it turns green, and when you put your flashlight on, it turns white. It's really cool.
No, I digress. I bought Formula 1 2015 on the PS4 this week because it was down cheapy. And I love the little speaker in it because my pit crew guy was telling me stuff through the speaker.
Nice.
The controller, and that's a nice feature. I like that. That's kind of cool. You know, that's a thing over the Xbox One that it doesn't have. But yeah, you look. Do you know what? They're pretty close, but I think still the Xbox One has the edge. Anyway, okay. So, are you dabbling in? Did you go back to some Uncharted as well, Rich? Or
no, we just played Journey and played a little bit of Never Alone. I prefer Never Alone on the PC because it seems it's locked at 30 frames per second on the PS4, and I don't know what it is, but as soon as I started playing it, I could just instantly tell straight away. It just seemed like really sluggish, which hasn't happened yet on the PS4 because I think all the games I've played so far are in 60 frames per second. That was a bit weird. I don't know why that was. I just remember it being smoother on the PC.
Okay, well, good. Look,
it's a good game.
Well, look, we've been all actively playing games. That's good. And I think we'll move on a wee bit now. And we're going to chat a wee bit about some of the things that have been happening in the world of gaming. I know there's some stuff that you wanted to have a chat about, Rich. And the thing that I have up here is the thing that happened over the week. Was the now slightly more seriously taken game awards produced by Jeff Keighley. I think the last couple of years, they've been a bit silly, but I think they're starting to get a bit of momentum now. Has been taken as something that is not just a bit of a laugh, but they're actually starting to get a bit of credibility.
It seems so, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a list. And
Yay,
the list,
love a good list.
Love a good list. And I've went through the winners of this, and there's just some interesting things in this. So I thought we would maybe work our way quickly through some of the list. I think in my list, if you flick through it in the show notes there, it's in order of preference, and the lower you get down the list, the sillier some of the awards get. So Game of the Year was The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And it picked up a few awards. It picked up the best role-playing game, and the developer was CD Projekt Red, and they got the Developer of the Year as well. So a big clean sweep for them. I suppose the ones that would have been nominated there as well probably would have been Fallout, and there's a few of the others. I don't have the full nominee list here as well, but that's deserving, I suppose. It makes me a bit more interested to play The Witcher 3 now. They've bought it. It's sitting there also
Considering
waiting.
that you bought it.
I know. That was just, I had to buy things. The Witcher, none of us have touched it, really. Rich, you haven't played it?
I put about 35 hours in, so not really
it's
played
perfect.
it. No, it's not really. With The Witcher 3, that's fuck all. That's like getting lost and dying a few times. It's pretty good, but it didn't hold me attention. I'm meaning to go back to it, but Fallout 4 and Degree and Life.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember you saying that it wasn't Skyrim.
Yeah,
And that was, yeah.
But I did like it. It reminded me more of Red Dead Redemption, and it's good. It is good. I wouldn't have given it Game of the Year though. For me, it would have been Fallout. And best role playing game would have gone to Fallout as well. Maybe of the year, I probably would have given to CD Projekt Red because they, free DLC, the patches and stuff. They did really well to support that.
Yeah, they were very good with their community. I suppose maybe Fallout was a bit soon. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it didn't quite get in. I mean, we don't know when these votes were cast. It could have been like 2 months ago.
And I think they probably do need it. Well, no, Fallout was on the list of nominees.
Was it?
Yeah.
Fix.
Yeah.
To fix. Ref.
Possibly. Yeah. But I think CD Projekt Red need to be commended because of the way they supported that game, and they were really, really interactive with the player base and fixed a lot, and were very, very open and approachable by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
So not only are Polish people good plumbers, they're really, really good at RPGs. And that's a terrible statement to make.
Jeez.
Here, look, I'm just going to do a quick shout out while we're doing this because there are lots of comments as we're going on. There's some active people in the chat right now. We've got, what is that? Kryptonize is in there. And Teflon and StepJ and Prawn Toast all being very active and chatty tonight. In fact, Prawn Toast, this is the first time I'd ever heard of these awards. And Adamski's just popped in there as well. Hi, Kyle. So, yeah, look, that was the best game of the year. Best art direction was Ori and the Blind Forest, got a mention.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's one of my games this year. I absolutely loved Ori. That made me feel things.
Did you cry twice at the ending and cry on forums? Oh, my God. Did you?
Jeez.
Did you go to reviews and anything less than 10 out of 10, you screamed at the number?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was it. I was very, very big and fat and wore a big fat T-shirt and stood at a podium and complained about stuff. And
God. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Look, Ori was a fantastic game, and goodness, the art direction. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was unbelievably frustrating and damn hard. But we'll talk about.
Ori was great. Did you not finish it?
Oh yeah, I did. Cheeky bastard. I did. Yes. Okay, so some more surprises then. So we go on to the Nintendo section here.
This is weird.
Yay.
Best shooter. The best shooter of the year went to Splatoon.
Yeah.
Or Splatoon.
Splatoon. I don't think that was undeserved. Splatoon is a surprisingly... I mean, on first impressions, you look at it, it's a cutesy little splat fest. but actually, it's a very, very good shooter. It really is. And they have this great the mechanic for getting around. Once you've painted areas, you hit your trigger button and you dive into the paint, and this enables you to move quickly within the paint and swim through it and up walls and things like that. As long as you've painted the area, you can swim and go up these areas. It's really, really cool.
It's just a remake of Crush Roller from the arcades in the 80s. That's all it is.
It's just like it, yeah.
Just Crush Roller. Yeah.
You know, it's weird. Like, I was quite shocked to see Splatoon getting Shooter of the Year. I mean, I can't remember. Have Nintendo ever won Shooter of the Year since the Nintendo 64 and the awards didn't even exist then? Have you noticed that we are seeing less shooters? Do you remember the days when every week a first-person shooter was coming out? What first-person shooters have come out this year that stand out apart from Black Ops?
Yeah, I think, somewhere along the lines, the Call of Duties and the Halos just steamrolled everything, and they do everything they need to do so well.
I mean, you've got Destiny, Halo, COD, but a lot of the games these days, you're getting a lot of adventure games.
Far Cry.
You know.
Yeah, Far Cry's not really a
Far Cry was last
shooter
year,
like that. But.
Yeah, what did the Romans ever do for us anyway?
Fuck off!
Okay, so it also won the best multiplayer game, which is a real surprise because of the awkwardness of the Nintendo system for multiplayer. I don't really understand how it got that award, the best multiplayer game. I don't understand that, but fair enough. And they also won an award for the best family game, which was Super Mario Maker. I suppose, yes, it's a game you could sit down with your family and play, and no one would get terribly offended, I suppose. So well done, Nintendo.
Yay.
Best action adventure game, Metal Gear Solid 5. So I suppose the nominees would have been Halo and other bits, and because there were lots of Far Cry would have been in there as well. But it sounds like all the love that Metal Gear has had, and again, it seems to be it was a work of love.
Yeah,
you know, there was a lot of love and attention put into it.
Are we going to touch on what happened with?
Don't forget the money.
Are we going to touch on what happened with Konami and Kojima?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I'm gonna confront Richard on this one because I know Richard was is on the Konami hate train.
So seemingly Konami banned Kojima from going to this award ceremony.
Objection.
Yeah,
objection.
That smells shitty.
Konami,
that does.
No, objection. Nowhere does anybody say they banned him. I mean, that makes it sound like he's legally, his legal. So they're saying he was legally bound not to attend on behalf of Konami.
But he could have attended as him. He could have just sat there and got himself drunk on fizzy
life.
Apple pop.
Fizzy Life.
I'm playing devil's advocate in this whole thing. Is that obviously there's something seriously amiss here. I mean, it's a very strange situation or whatever. But I'm the one who's sitting, and I'll probably end up eating crow for this anyway. I could be totally wrong, but like I'm getting this when everybody is on the Konami hate train, I just feel like I need to take a step back and just say, hang on a second, like what is going on? Like what has brought this to a head? What has happened? And I don't know, and I could be totally wrong, but like something's happened where he's really got the backup against something. Things have gone seriously south, and it takes two to tango. Now, whether he's gone off the rails in making this game, and my personal thought is like something like he's gone way over time, way over budget. He's just like gone mental with the game, and the proof is in the pudding. The game's fantastic, right? It wouldn't surprise me at all if the relationship is somewhat soured from Kojima just going crazy over there. But you're not allowed to have the whole story come out, so nobody knows about it. But it's very easy for everyone to say, well, Kojima can't put a foot wrong, so we'll all hate on Konami. And it just leaves. I just think it's safe to just take a step back and say, hang on a second, let's see what if we can find out what the real reasoning is behind it. The guy's a lunatic.
I'd like to think he was caught in the office shagging the head of Kojima or Konami's wife or something out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I think, right, a lot of it stems from the fact that Konami have been proven to be actual cunts. And because they've been proven to be cunts this year, these things kind of like, it's it's easier to call someone a cunt when you know they're already a cunt. And I don't use that C word a lot very often, but the way they treated their developers was disgusting. Yeah, 3 times. It was disgusting the way they would like, oh, we don't need you being a developer anymore, so we're going to make you a fucking janitor instead. Just because they can't sack him because they'll have to give them like money and stuff.
Again, this is Konami hate again, you know.
I know,
and
that was like an actual story.
Side.
That story was like ran by like a reputable like gaming outlet. You know, that wasn't like hearsay on Twitter. That was a story that was written, you know, assumedly from reputable concrete sources. Otherwise, they wouldn't have ran something like that because it's libelous, I'm guessing. You know?
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with being a janitor.
There isn't. But for sweating your balls off for 30 years, coding away, and then to be told, oh, we don't need you anymore, but so we don't have to pay you like severance pay, we'll just make you a shitty janitor so you want to leave. Nothing wrong with being a janitor, but for a guy who's been doing coding for 30 years, he doesn't want to clean the windows.
I think there's more to this story than meets the eye, and somewhere down the line, it might be 5 or 10 years down the line, there'll be a documentary on whatever version of Netflix it is in, or a book or something. So there's a story behind the production of this whole game. See, it seems to be doing the sales numbers. You know,
I think it's like Kojima. We know he was an absolute bellend with his like his appearance is ridiculous. His attitude to life and work he's like a believer, but he definitely went over budget. He most definitely went over time. He most definitely pissed off people in suits, because you can just tell by the stories that have come out. Giant Bomb like made a joke on their podcast a couple of months ago where like Konami, the reason why it all kicked off is because they probably walked in and he was there mocapping a stationary gun that wasn't moving just to get it like perfect for the game. And so, I mean, it's clear that he did piss off a few people, but I am more inclined to believe that, for example, the story about them treating their employees and, you know, CCTV and all that, I'm more inclined to believe that's true based on the fact that it's libelous if it's not. And the guy at the VGAs actually said, Kojima's not here because, I don't know what the words he used, but it was somewhere along the lines of,
he dropped
he's not
joke,
allowed to come.
Yeah.
He's been told he can't come. Now, he wouldn't have said that if he didn't know. Would he?
Yeah, well, at the same time, if he couldn't come, he has signed a contract, or it was part of his deal. You know, if he was just a disgruntled member of staff, he would have showed up to be an arse.
Yeah.
But he must have agreed somewhere down the line.
So I think maybe
again,
lawyers,
and all these stories about he had been, you know, if you rewind the clock about his name had been stripped out of the game completely and all over the place. His name is everywhere over that game.
Yeah,
and every 5 minutes there's titles coming up and Kojima is everywhere.
Honestly, I'm moving further and further towards just imagining that Kojima is an absolute massive bellend, and everyone in Konami was just like, we just can't deal with the guy anymore. Like, I don't know, we're gonna take some real heat here, guys, but we got to do something about him, man. First of all, he's sinking our gaming division. Like, I went in and he's mocapping the bloody guns. They're not even moving. He's got rid of Hater, and he's gone and bloody signed Kiefer Sutherland. We didn't need him. I just think it's just going to be interesting to see what comes out in the wash.
Sorry, we'll move on. Our wonderful people in the chat are saying first-person shooters, Dying Light, Evolve, Battlefield Hardline, Borderlands Collection.
Borderlands Collection was a re-release.
Wolfenstein. You know, so there have been quite a few.
Right, there have been about 6. Yeah, there's been about 6 or 7. Well, there was a time where they'd do like 6 or 7 a month. Do you remember those days? They were rough.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. So Metal Gear also won the best soundtrack, which was and some great, interesting music in there as well. Best indie in Metal Gear, the best soundtrack.
Oh, did you see old Justin get up and do the Quiet theme on that? Anybody see that? It was dreadful. Oh my God.
No.
It was the model who was Quiet was based on. She got out and sang a song.
Oh dear.
Oh my God.
So there were awkward moments there.
Oh, it's brutal.
Best indie game went to Rocket League, which we've got lots of fans of, and the best sports racing game it also picked up as well. I would have put that up where the best
Rocket
multiplayer
League
game.
got racing game.
Yeah, racing
No,
sports
that's
game.
not no
Racing
yeah,
sports.
no sports game. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I would have put that
Racing
as the
game,
best
no.
multiplayer game. It must have been pretty close between Splatoon and
Separate.
Rocket League. Yeah, I don't know. Games for Impact, whatever the hell that means. Life is Strange. And now we start to get sillier. The most anticipated game, an award for that.
Wow.
No Man's Mist.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that
I'm getting
game.
so bored of No Man's Sky. I really am.
I am so hoping that game just falls flat on its face.
Oh, I'm
Is that
not.
a
I
bad thing
mean,
to
Hello
say?
Games, they're nice people, but I think they've got themselves in too deep. I think
They've
somebody.
signed in blood. They've sold their soul to the devil.
Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah.
Guys, it's
They
game
could
gonna
have
be
just.
game of the
They
year.
could have. No, they could have just released it. Been an indie developer, released it to either genuine fanfare or whatever. Now the massive weight of expectation that is on this game is phenomenal. I can't wait to see what
Yeah, I
happens.
mean, it was probably a great idea and great concept, and they could land, go down to planets and come back up again, and they could do a few other bits and pieces. But then they've went like sitting around after they got their offices paid for by one of the developers after they got flooded, and they're going, oh, you have to build some story into this game and some mechanics, and they're going, oh, Frank, what do we do? I don't know. I feel sorry for them. I hope it's wonderful, but I can't imagine it's going to be wonderful. But I think
I hope they're submitting some nice expense checks right now.
I hope so. I hope they're making the most of it. Okay, the best narrative went to Her Story.
That's Her Story for English people.
Yeah, Her Story, which is a iPod game. A lot of story in it, a lot of her in it. So I haven't played it, but I hear lots of people say it's a very interesting experience. It's maybe one of those things to pick up. Best fighting game? Well, what else? I suppose it has to be either Mortal Kombat X or the Nintendo one, and Mortal Kombat X got it. What was the Nintendo one that people rave about?
Super Smash Bros.
Super Smash Bros. And I'm sure Super Smash Bros. Is brilliant for the kids. Mortal Kombat X is the ones for the bigger people.
I think Mortal Kombat is one for the kids too. Every time I hear about the boys talking about the killer moves and stuff like that, they love it, man. They lap it up.
Best mobile handheld game went to Lara Croft Go. I haven't picked it up, but I hear that's a good one too. And then we get into the really, really deep stuff, which is esports game of the year. Sorry, esports team of the year. Optic Gaming. This has passed us by, kids.
Yeah.
The esports player of the year, Kenny S. Shrub. And he was a Counter-Strike Global Offensive game. The esports game of the year, this is fantastic. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. My God, the game that will never die.
Yeah, it won't.
How old is Counter-Strike now? 10 years?
30.
Is it?
30 years.
Oh, yeah, it must be at least.
Yeah. You know what?
The
They're gonna make a new one of them when they release Source 3, aren't they? If not update that one, they'll do another one for the next Source engine.
They can't do threes. That's the problem.
No, that's why it'll be Counter-Strike Global Annihilation.
Yeah. Now we get absolutely ridiculous, which we get the trending gamer, Greg Miller. Is that Greggy Miller? Is that IGN guy? Is that Game Over Greg?
It is.
Game over Greggy, yeah.
The trending gamer. I'm surprised that somebody like I think PewDiePie was in that as well. So that's where you're sort of getting to. I'm surprised Stampy Long Nose wasn't in there as well. Best fan creation, Portal Stories, and the best performance was Aviva Surfit for her story again, and that's with lots of her and lots of story. Do you know what? It's nice that there seems to be a legitimate gaming award thing coming. You know, I think that's a good thing to have.
It's fairly legitimate. Robin, did you watch it?
No.
Man, it was bang full of trailers for games and adverts all over the place. I mean, it was really pretty commercial heavy.
But would that not be the same as the Oscars and stuff like that as well over there? Would you not have lots of commercial breaks for movies and? No?
So you're telling me how legitimate do you think the Oscars is then?
Yeah, well, okay. Don't bat your eyelids at me, Fraser Moore.
You brought it up.
Yeah, well, I suppose so, but considering that music, so we keep on hearing this statistic that music and movies put together are not as big as gaming. Surely there has to be something like this as well, which is more mainstream. You know, so many of us are gamers now.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's great that we've got something that's sort of we can watch or we can chat about or whatever. But it never failed to think that on these award ceremonies or whatever like that favors have been curried or someone's getting an extra visibility because of who they are or who they know. I mean, I take some of it with a grain of salt.
I mean, Jesus, brown envelopes are flying around that office. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, but
Richard's telling it how I'm really thinking. But
as was pointed out in the chat there, I mean, there are some of those, the last of those things, like the Game Over Greggy guy, and some of those are voted by the public. So Counter-Strike was voted by the public as the esports game of the year and stuff like that there. So
guys, can I ask you a question? Why the fuck do we need and why the fuck do we care who the most trending gamer is? Because I don't give a fuck. Honest to God, could not care less who the fuck's trending. I just want to play my games.
Rich.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, you're still a whippersnapper, but you're now far too friggin' old. You know, to the kids, to my 15-year-old who's Dota mad at the moment and playing Dota, he's watching the live Dota matches and telling me how much the purse is now. And I go down to my 10-year-old who's now past Stampy Longnose and he's on to harder crack guys that are out there doing different things with Minecraft, and my 7-year-olds that are here are Stampy Longnose mad. You know, so
there's no doubt about it. I've come home every day this week, Rich, and I've walked downstairs to my kids watching YouTube videos, Terraria videos. I can't even tell you who they are. I think they've been watching some Stampy.
Yeah,
you know, and these guys are making dollar bills out of this YouTube and the Twitch streaming and stuff like that there, and it's kids these days. What do you want to be? My son wants to be an ice hockey player. He wants to be a policeman or a YouTuber. And I think YouTuber is well up there with lots of kids these days as a profession that they can.
I wish I was a career officer and I was there with the first kid that come in and sat down and said, "I want to be a YouTuber." I would just say, right, the first thing you need to do is fuck off. Get out. Go home. I'm only messing that. It's quite lucrative if you're popular. Millions.
Jason in the chat has just brought up a very pertinent point about the legitimacy of gaming awards, where he would say that the DICE awards or the GDC awards are more legitimate than these here. So because they're maybe are they more from the professionals within the industry? I suppose these are those as well.
Well, the VGAs are nominated by journalists. The GDCs, I think, are nominated by developers, and the DICE awards, I think, are ours. I think that's the way it goes. But this one is like, for example, Jeff Gertzman from the Giant Bomb, he nominated one of the games for these awards, VGAs.
Oh, okay.
So they nominate them.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, so that was those. You have some stuff about PEX, Richard, that you'd watched a bit of stuff about the PlayStation event.
Yeah, me and my missus, we watched the PlayStation Experience, which was in San Francisco today. Honestly, right, she's not a massive gamer, but her words at the end were, "What the fuck did I just watch?" There was so much Japanese and so much weird stuff. Like, I mean, Sony doesn't do very well in Japan with the PS4, so they're doing a lot for the Japanese market, which is fair enough. But there was a lot of weird stuff. Like, she was saying, did I buy the wrong console? Should she have got an Xbox One? And I was like, nah. You know, because platforming games are great on the PS4. But anyway, some of the big news that came out of the PS4 PlayStation Experience today, the biggest, I suppose, one of the biggest is... well, this isn't really the biggest, I suppose, but it's my biggest. 10 PS2 games are now available, I think today or tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, it's tomorrow. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
10 PS2 games.
Can't wait.
For anyone interested in the list, I'm just getting it up now on a Eurogamer article.
I love a good list.
Here we go, the list. So they're basically like up-resing to 1080p. You're going to have what they call trophies, streaming, remote play, live broadcasting, all that sort of stuff. You're going to have Dark Cloud, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, Rogue Galaxy, The Mark of Kree, Twisted Metal Black, and War of the Monsters.
Would just ever go and stick them all up their backside again? That's fucking crap. Seriously.
Dark Cloud was not all that. And seriously, it was struggling at the time it came out. Now it's going to be dreadful. It's a bit of nostalgia. Fair play if you want to go spend your money and realize how bad old games are. Old. We got to realize that at some
So
point.
how does it work, Rich? Can you stick in your old disc, or do you have to buy it again and download it? Or
You have to buy it again. It's not so much a remaster, but it's a kind of a remaster rather than emulation. So you download it. It'll have 1080p resolution, controller support, Twitch, and all that sort of thing. So it's like a PSN game. You're not going to be able to put a disc in. Well, it's not been mentioned anyway, and I don't see them putting a disc in.
I'm quite sure there'll be some cult following with some of the old JRPG stuff.
Yeah,
But I can't imagine anything else there with anything with a polygon in it. It's bound to look like pants now.
It's just too long ago now.
Yeah.
What else is coming as well is the PC version of Final Fantasy VII. You know, the one that looks slightly better than the original. That's coming over to PS4 today.
Wasn't the PC version pretty bad?
I never played it.
I think.
I never really heard anything about it.
I believe the PC version was not very good at all.
I think it
So there you go.
It was running at a high resolution. Some of the models look a
but I
bit better, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think it worked.
Well, do you know what? Backwards compatibility on the Xbox One is pretty cool. You know, it's nice to go back to do stuff there, and this is a nice feature for the PlayStation as well. So
Yeah, but we're backward compatible. Yeah, but we're going backwards to games that.
Weren't that great.
I
Are you saying like where's Shadow of the Colossus?
No. Shadow of the Colossus is not that is still good.
yeah,
That's what I mean. Like I was quite shocked at the list because when I first saw like 10 games come from PS2 today, I thought it was going to be like Final Fantasy X, Shadow of the Colossus, Ico. I mean, San Andreas I can understand because they were system pushers. But I mean, Mark of Kree, never heard
Sorry,
of it.
I got lost there. I thought you said Shadow Complex. I got lost in what we were talking about there. It's not. Yeah, the list you reeled off there, Rich, is not a very good list of games. I mean, that's a simple fact.
Yeah. I mean, the GTAs I can understand because they were PS2 classics. But like Mark of Kree, Twisted Metal, I would rather have them done like Final Fantasy X, X-2, Shadow of the Colossus, Ico, even a fucking wrestling game. Here Comes the Pain would have been great. I'd have been straight on that.
Go.
So anyway, they're the little bits and bobs. But the main things they showed off on the conference, it was a proper like 2-hour show or whatever. It was pretty good. Some of the games they showed were just dog shit though. Some of that stuff from Adult Swim was ridiculous. 100-foot Robot Golf is a VR game that's coming to PS4.
I like that idea. I don't know why. That sounds great.
You are a what? It says it on the tin. Ron Sill, Quick Dry and Woodstain. It's you're a 100-foot robot playing golf in the city. You can knock each other over, knock buildings over, and swing your clubs at the ball. They had a zombie game where you were like, imagine like fucking Surgeon Simulator and Octodad meets VR, and these zombie town and everything's a zombie, but everyone's like, it's society is a zombies, and they're driving around these taxis and shit, and sandwiches are falling off the dashboard, and it looks absolute piss, just shit.
these are just all tech demos that.
That was a game.
I know, but if you go back to what Kinect did, there was lots of all these mini games and small games. It didn't have a lot of substance to try the thing, and they were all pretty crappy. And this is going to be the same with this too.
Do you know what did
Quickly
look good?
put something together. What looked good?
Res Infinite, I think it's called. Res is going to be on PlayStation VR. Anybody play Res?
Yeah, but
Back in the day.
yeah, does it need to be in VR?
I don't know if it's exclusive to VR, but they've made it VR, and it looked pretty cool. So that's all right.
That might be pretty cool. If you're sort of looking in different directions and things are flying past you.
Yeah, maybe vector graphics would probably work very, very well. Yeah.
Yeah, back to the old school.
So Uncharted 4, they showed off like a cutscene at the beginning. It has like branching dialogue, which apparently is a big deal. Like it'll ask you a question and then you can choose an answer. So, so I won't spoil it, but there's a guy talking to Nathan and he says like, so what you been up to? And 3 options come up and you can say like what you did in the first game, what you did in the second game, or what you did in the third game. You can choose which one. It looks great, fantastic. But that's all right. They showed Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay. And it looks very shiny and new. It looks like they're staying quite true to the original and to the movie that they made, so I'm quite happy about that. It looks very much like Arkham Knight. You know that wet, shiny look that games are getting?
Yeah.
It's got that wet, shiny look. So that's coming. Street Fighter 5 characters revealed. That no one cares. Local split-screen multiplayer for Battleborn, because that's news. PS Vita games announced at PEX. I don't know.
And like new games, because I thought that sort of stopped supporting the Vita.
No, there's a lot of games coming
now.
to a dual, like both coming to. There's Hitman Go, The Last Blade 2, Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle, and a remaster, I think, of Full Throttle.
Right, that's just all old shit. Right, okay.
Yep, old shit. Yakuza or Yakuza 0 is coming. That looks like nothing I want to play. MLB The 16 The Show, they showed that. It's a baseball game. You play baseball. It's a game.
Rounders.
Yep. You like baseball? So there's like balls and like...
No, come on. Some people have there's a real big following of that particular game.
That's what I said to my missus.
That's a good... No, I mean, yeah, that is generally a good baseball game. I think it's rated one of the best ones, right?
It is, and that's what I said to my girlfriend, and she was like, what the fuck? Nothing
Rounders?
happens in baseball. And I was like, it's pretty good. People have got a following. Yeah, see, I did all that, lads, and it just doesn't wash with non-gamers. Ratchet and Clank, the PS4 new game, that looked really good. That looked very good. There was this new gun where you can shoot at your enemy. What's it called now? The boogie gun or something. And basically you shoot it at your enemy and then like a disco ball goes above their head and like lights on the floor come up like a disco and the enemy just starts dancing to like a disco tune.
Nice. They've gone full bonkers.
Yeah, they've gone full Plants vs. Zombies there. Yep,
there's the pixelator gun. So when you shoot it at someone, they go all pixelated like in the Pixels movie.
Yeah, well, the Ratchet and Clank stuff is good.
So that's coming. Ni no Kuni 2 was announced.
Wow.
Ooh, now there's a big piece of news there. That'll get Chris Williams all moist.
Well, that's one person.
I was just
going
to
say,
say, was that your microphone rising then, Fraser, or something else? Because you looked a bit excited then about Ni no Kuni 2. Destiny's getting Sparrow Racing.
It's getting what?
Sparrow Racing.
Oh yeah, okay. Little speeder bikes.
Yeah, it's like Wipeout meets Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Ace Combat 7 is coming exclusively to VR. It looked really good. If it wasn't a VR game, it'd be really good, I think. It just looks very nice.
Okay.
And what else? Anything major coming? Yeah, that guy talking about Street Fighter was on there for ages. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I don't even know. There was a game, Ni no Kuni 2, right? It's like an anime cartoon game. And me and my missus, we couldn't believe it. The girl said, I'm the king. No, this must have been a guy, maybe. You know, that down the middle thing, you're not really sure. Said, like, I'm the king of Ding Dong Delhi or something like that. It was like the worst. It was literally Ding Dong something is the name of the kingdom.
Well, when one of the main characters of your partners was Drippy in the last one, which was voiced by a Welsh guy.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
It's tremendous. Drippy's voice is just amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's beautifully drawn. It's God, my memory is terrible. A fantastic Japanese art house guys that are famous for that style. and it's renowned as being as good as a television cartoon type thing as far as the animations are concerned in it.
Yeah,
and it is beautiful. It is a gorgeous game.
She said, "Why are they making this game?" Now, bear in mind, this is a pretty much non-gamer who plays platformers and stuff. Her first conference, she's kind of said like, "Why are they making this? It looks crap." And I said, like, they take catering to a Japanese market, like, and lots of PlayStation fans are Japanese market fans. And she said, haven't they done that already? Because at this point, like, Ni no Kuni 2 was like towards the end, and there'd been all sorts of stuff before. And I said, like, this is an anime market. It's a different thing. It's not always like big hair. It's anime and Japanese sort of design aren't necessarily always the same. So yeah, that's happened, and there's bound to be a few new announcements and stuff over the next day or two with different things. If you're in San Francisco, go play the games. Yeah, I've got a headache now.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, well, so that was PX, and I think there's lots of lucky people could go along. It was like I think the idea is it's like an exhibition, but people could come along to it. It's like a all Sony thing, so
Yeah,
that's good.
It was nice.
Happening.
I enjoyed it, really did. Some good stuff.
Okay, right. Well, let's move on. New releases. Fraser, would you like to talk through our new releases? I've looked through this list, and I can only see one thing of note in it, because I think we're coming towards the end of the year, and that's about it. But
Okay.
if you'd like to rattle through.
Yep, I can do that, and I rattle through. I will. Zombie Vikings is December 5th to December 12th. Zombie Vikings on the PC, December 7th. On December 8th, we have the following: Earth Defense Force 2, Invaders from Planet Space; Earth Defense Force 4.1, The Shadow of New Despair. Oh, the Earth Force 2 that's on the Vita, and 4.1 is on the PS4. Guns, Gore, and Cannoli is coming out on the PS4 on December 8th as well. Also, the Mean Greens Plastic Warfare on PC for December 8th. December 9th, Star Wall on Xbox One. I have no idea, not heard of that one.
Totally got it, yeah.
December 10th, we have Among the Sleep, which seems to have 3 red stars next to it for some reason.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, well, I think for me, that's the one that is of interest, really, this week. Among the Sleep has had quite a bit of press. You are a baby. I think you've been put to bed, and then you get out of bed and you crawl around, and it's sort of a very dark, nightmarish type game, a bit scary and atmospheric. And I think that's the only one that really has any sort of legs this week. I mean, Earth Defense Force, of course, is a guilty pleasure for a lot of people. And then there's a couple of other pieces of pants down there as well.
Yeah, Cosmic League for the PC, Fast Racing Neo for the Wii U, SteamWorld Heist, which I think is the sequel to SteamWorld Dig. That's coming out on the 3DS, and Devil's Third for the Wii U.
Yeah, and it's a
11th.
shooter. Believe it or not, it's a pretty mean shooter for the Wii U.
Shooter again for the Wii U.
It's supposed to be crap, but it's a shooter. Star Wall is like a 4-player indie type game. Looks like a bit of fun for 5 minutes. But yeah, Among the Sleep seems to be it. And the Earth Defense Force, shooting lots of big creatures and insects in Japan. Richard, you want to say something else about PSX?
Yeah, there was I wanted to give my like pro tip. There was a little hidden gem. I think it was in Adult Swim's list of games, called Rain World, and that's coming out next year. They didn't show much, but what they showed, it was kind of like a Terraria pixelated-y type style look with the graphics. But you played like a cat or something, and it was all kind of dark. It was very much like Limbo, but bright and in the city, and it looked really interesting. So go check that out. Rain World coming to PS4.
Okay, cool. All right. Things that are going on within the community. Halo 5 is getting a lot of interest this week. People want to play it multiplayer, and I think we should set up a play date. So keep an eye on Facebook, and we'll do some Halo stuff over the next few weeks and over Christmas, definitely, because there's a lot of good gameplay to be had in Halo 5. Clash of Clans and Boom Beach are still going.
Unbelievable.
So go on to those and search for g4t.com, and you'll still find us there. Rich, would you talk about We Are Epic, please, if you would?
Yeah, this is the best podcast in the world. Enough said. Now we run a thing called We Are Epic, where we showcase 30 seconds of awesome video, and you can win 20 real gaming books. So send us a video to epic.g4te.com on the Facebook page, or send a link to bongo@g4te.com. Something awesome. I don't know. You take out a TIE fighter with your lightsaber in Star Wars Battlefront, or I don't know. You hot lap someone in F1 by like 400th of a millisecond. Anything like you think epic or cool, send it over, and we'll be running it till December.
That's running up to the end of December, so you've got a couple of weeks for that. Okay, Forza 6, there was a lot happened this week. There was a really, really tight battle for the November Hot Loot Challenge because I won it last month. I put up some of my own nerd-related loot, and I am unhappy to say that Ballbag had won the competition and beat me. Wooden was up there, and there's a pile of other guys were in that. That was a very, very tight hot lap challenge, and Ballbag has won that. I think he was 16th in the world for that particular time. It was very, very good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So Ballbag needs to contact me with a real address, and I'll send him a pile of my nerd-related loot. Okay, for December, new hot lap challenge, Brands Hatch Indy Circuit in the wet, and we're in a P-Class Audi number 2 R18 e-tron. That's a super duper Le Mans type 24-hour racing supercar, and it's in the wet on a tight little course. And you have to use Henwood's tune, and that's P996. So so Henwood is a guy. You go into tunes and you search for Henwood or the Henwood in the tunes, and you'll find his tune and add it to that car. Have me, Bongo the Sane, on your friends list and join in with that, and that will run until the end of the year. Okay, victory achieved. One of my little favorite things. When you finish your games, take a photograph of yourself, take a selfie with the titles of the game in behind. It encourages you to finish your game. You tweet that off to @g4te.com on the Twitters, and I'll give you some feedback on that. This will run from the 1st of October to the 31st of December, and you'll win some money. We do a random draw for that, and there's been winners this year, and they win money. Yeah. So this week, victories achieved. Flecky 90 finished Ori and the Blind Forest, one of my favorites. Bongo the Sane finished Submerged. Won't do that again. Teflon 12 finished Shovel Knight, A Plague of Shadows, and he did that with his son. Well done. Shovel Knight, do. Psycho Wumble finished The Wolf Among Us. Good lad. Caliburn finished Floor. There you go, Rich. Floor. Some bloke called Duke Scath finished Mushroom 11. Very good.
Game.
I hear that's very good. You just keep on talking about that. And I finished Life is Strange and Game of Thrones Season 1.
Look at you. 1, 2, 3.
There we go. Nice. 3 this week. I said I was going to do it, and I did it. So, yeah. So make sure you get those tweets off to @g4te.com and spell it dot. Okay. Look, we love the people that listen to the podcast. We love your feedback. Please send us an email. It would be lovely to get one at podcast@g4te.com, and you can tweet us at OC_podcast. We have a Facebook underscore. We have a Facebook group as well there, and fb.g4te.com. We've got lots of other stuff all about us, and if you want to find out about us, just go to g4te.com and you'll find all the links to tweets and emails and everything you need just there. Go there, and it's an interesting page where you'll get links to the show and lots of other stuff. Leave us a review if you want to in your software of choice, and it's been great. It's been a good wee show, guys. Would we like to shout any people out before we shout out the guys in the chat? Fraser, would you like any shout out at all?
No, well done, Robin, for a wonderful job hosting the podcast.
I'm enjoying it now. The stress is gone. It's more comfortable.
You just get on with it. Yeah. It's good. Yeah, you're doing all right, mate. See,
you
didn't pull. You didn't do any bongos today.
No,
I didn't pull a bongo. I love it.
Rich, anybody you would like to shout out tonight?
I want to shout out Jonathan Blow. because everyone's forgotten about The Witness, but it's coming out in January next month.
Yeah. Let's hope it's bad. I just want to see him cringe.
Yeah, right.
You want to watch him cringe? Just watch him give any talk anywhere.
Do you know what? He's not a bad bloke. I've heard him interviewed a few times, and he came over okay. Sometimes he can be a bit pretentious and stuff. It's almost like it's not the room, it's the room. You come over that way, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's as bad as people make out.
No, see,
Okay, well, yeah, good luck to him.
I was looking into programming a couple of weeks ago, and I watched about 7 hours of interviews of him because he's a very, very intelligent man. He's invented a new programming language that's quite close to assembly, but higher level. So yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to me missus, because we got PS4 and we watched the PSX today, and then we enjoyed it. Check out Rain World on PS4. It's coming out next year, so make sure you check that out. And I also want to say that Teflon has said that they've got a Halo 5 WhatsApp group going. So if you're interested, contact Filthy or Amras89 on Twitter, I'm guessing. Find them on Twitter.
If you want to play right now, and if you're listening live right now, there'll be a bunch of guys jumping on to Halo 5. Unfortunately, not me, but there will be a bunch of guys jumping on to play some Halo 5 straight after the podcast. So if you want to jump in there, go do it. Yeah?
Yeah, Halo, such a good game, man. I nearly cried before just thinking about Halo 3. That's how sad I am. Halo 3, what a game. What a game.
Yeah.
Also, I want to just quickly mention Paragon, which is the new game from Epic. It's their MOBA that they're coming out. They showed a trailer at the end of the PSX. It was like a CGI one, but it's Epic. They've got infinite money. So expect this to be pretty decent. So go check out that trailer, Paragon. It's like if Unreal Tournament had very, very aggressive sex with Dota. That's the game. So,
All right. Well, look, I want to shout out Greg. I hope you're having a great time with Mickey Mouse and the family. Seen some photographs and it looks like you're having a great time. I think Greg was on Tower of Terror today and he peed his pants. But pants, I'm sure, were provided and many of the gift shops that were there. A big shout out to Nicole. She's doing her boxing up and packing and moving today. Hope that's all going well. Kim, I know you've had a tough week, but hit the drink. That'll help. And Mark, who's feeling unwell once again, we need to club together to buy Mark some vitamins and send him some vitamins.
We're not. We're pushing beyond that. We're going to club together. I want to get him one of those oxygen tents that Michael Jackson
the
used to
boy in the bubble. So, thanks very, very much, everybody, for listening. If you were listening live, the people that were in there, we had Ballback, you had Bugger, beating my time, how ridiculous. We had Prawn Toast, we have Step J and Teflon and Adamski, and oh goodness, so many people. It's fantastic. So if you want to tune in live, it's 11 p.m. UK and whatever those American guys have, and whatever part of the world you are, you can work it out from the UK. Tune in live, watch us on the stream. Thanks for listening. Have a great, wonderful, and safe gaming week, everybody, and we will see you next week. Thanks very much, guys. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Outro music time.
I'm an ass man. Yeah, I'm an ass man.